We're close to learning what's next for City Farm in Newport News.
The City Planning Commission met today. Now, part of that meeting included the plan for the 60-acre farm. Right now, it is being used as part of Riverview Farm Park, but new development could take its place. 13 News Now reporter Nico Clemens was there as leaders searched for a solution.
Studies are necessary.
One by one by one. Dozens of people concerned about the fate of the City Farm property in Newport News spoke from their heart and pushed the Planning Commission to vote in their favor.
Don't take away our park. It belongs to the people. No development of any kind.
Right now in the city's draft comprehensive plan, the City Farm property is designated as understudy, meaning there's a study of the land and what's going to be best for that area. Wednesday afternoon, the Planning Commission voted unanimously to change that designation from understudy to park to match the zoning of that land. Now the draft comprehensive plan goes before City Council June 26. But at least for now, a sigh of relief for several people whose message is loud and clear. No development of any sort at the City Farm property.
Newport News citizens have spoken clearly for decades about wanting City Farm to be parkland free from residential development.
City leaders paid for an archaeological study at the property. There's also plans to bring in the American Planning Association to figure out what to do with the property. Last November, the city received an unsolicited proposal to buy the property to build homes.
And now some investors have come in and offered big money. What have you guys become? If you vote yes on this, I know.
As of right now, the future is unclear.
The citizens of Newport News don't want high-end luxury homes at City Farm. We want the City Farm land to be protected parkland so that we can all enjoy its 60 acres of waterfront with our families, even if we're not wealthy enough to buy an expensive home there.
But those who spoke feel a little better heading home tonight. In Newport News, Nico Clemens, 13 News Now.